Good morning, friends. It's Nancy. Just here to sort of give you an update on where I am with my 1940s era journal. So I've put together the signatures. I'm not sure exactly how happy I am with them yet, so they're not stitched in. So I'm just going to go through these briefly. So this is the front of a paper pattern, and I have left this flap as a tuck spot, and in order to cover, it was just plain paper that I glued this to. I think this was the back of the pattern envelope. And there was a date, but I don't know if I preserved that. This is old notebook paper. This is an envelope from Hot Iron Transfer. This is a vintage wedding card, and I've glued the bottom of that and put a little punch there to make a tag envelope. Here's a page from a vintage book, and then the back of all that stuff. Here's the gusseted pocket that I did the video on last week. And just to finish off the edge of the page, I did 2 layers of rickrack. It's sort of like a parchment-y kind of paper. So this is ledger paper that came out of the original book. Here's some book pages. So this is a side-loading pocket here, and this had a fold, so I reinforced it with some vintage Denison mending tape. I think that looks really cool. Notebook paper, another vintage card. Again, it's a tuck spot. This was from a brochure about collecting coupons from pasta packaging, and this is what you could purchase with your coupons. Just some writing paper. Here's the back of this. This came out of a book, and I did this little fold over here, and this came out of like the innards. I've got a couple of them saved here, of crochet cotton. So this has advertisements for little crochet patterns, booklets, and then again there's another side loading spot here. I believe that's coffee dyed note paper. This is from a little cookbook pamphlet about some brand of nuts. Vintage card. This is a tuck spot, and these are just little flippy papers for journaling. This is some old ledger paper, and this is a label from filing folders. Here I took an image out of a book and made a tuck spot, and oh, that's glued in there. I thought, oh, that's a tag. No, it's not a tag. It's glued in there. Got a piece of plat there. Okay. So that the tuck spot. Yeah, California's finest shelled walnuts. And then the next signature has that parchment paper again. This is it's not scrapbook paper, it's like the inside leaf of a book about gardening. So I made this little tuck spot here. This is a bookmark about joining the Navy, clearly. I've hinged it on here with some old Denison paper. And I'm going to tuck some papers, removable papers in there for journaling. Birthday card, again, pocket. This is from a stamp album. This is a instructions from a, so many threads, from a pattern to make an envelope, and it says feed bag may be used here. So I believe this is feed sack material. And again, this is another one of those innards from a ball of crochet cotton. And I made this envelope here out of a sleeve. So I just folded the sleeve in half, and I think I used decoupage to stick that together. And then added some lace here for another tuck spot. And on the back, I have, I made a tag out of a picture of the Dion quintuplets that I will stick in there. A recipe pamphlet. This is the label from note paper. This is a tag that I made, and it's a side-loading tuck spot as well. I only posted this image on Facebook, and I see it all the time on Pinterest now. So I just collaged some dictionary paper, did some sewing, put a little, it's a giant snap there. Made a skirt out of, I believe this is like a collar, maybe. I don't know. Here's another vintage birthday card. Isn't that pretty? And on the back, this is some leftover patchwork. I still have a little bit of that patchwork left that I used to make the front. This is a tuck spot, and this is a pocket. Here is another flip out, and this is a birthday card. This is a side-loading pocket here, and on the back is also another side-loading pocket. Isn't that a gorgeous card, though? Some more vintage ledger paper. This page here is actually like a mimeograph of schedule for a golf tournament, and this flips out. I don't think this is a tuck. No, it's not a tuck. I mean, you could stick something there, but it's not sized correctly. Anyway, but there's journaling space on the back. And here's some tea-dyed papers that I've stitched in there just to sort of cover up the map of the golf course. Not liking how this is going. Let's do this and this. No, I'm going to do this and this. This is a seed catalog envelope, so I'm going to stitch that into the signature and open it up either at the top or the side. Haven't decided yet. This is the other part of the golf schedule, and it flips out, and here is a little image of a lady golfer, and you can tuck that right in here. I've collaged it with a newspaper recipe, and I used some more of that Denison tape. It's not functional, it's just decorative. Love it. And there's the back of that card. Here, from a knitting book. This is Ledger from the original book that I made the covers from. This is a little envelope, and it flips out, so you can stick something in there. And to hold it down, there's a little logo from A&P that I've just layered up on some wrinkled doily paper. And then this recipe I cut out of a 1940s something issue of Life magazine. And again, it flips open. There's some people shopping. And I put a little tag in there that I've loaded up on cardstock. And then on the other side are the tops of the envelopes, and you can just tuck something in there. This is from a Tiddlywinks game, another pattern, and birthday card. On the back here is, these are also advertisements from, you know, Life magazine. So I left the side open here so that I could stick a recipe index card label thing there. This is supper casseroles. I don't know if I'm going to go with the blue one though. Might go with something else. Made this. I don't think it'll fit though. No, it's too big. And peaches is also a tuck spot. And then that's that. So I've got 7 signatures. I've got lots of ephemera made. It's just not put in yet because I need to sew these signatures in yet. So there's lots of really neat images in here. I'm really excited about that. I've sort of stuck to my plan that I wanted to use vintage only, or at least vintage looking. So of course, like this book wasn't vintage. It was well, it might be in vintage, but it was a current book. But the images are vintage looking, right? And yeah, I just don't know what order I'm going to put it in. And there's lots of journaling space, but once it gets the ephemera in it, it's going to be pretty thick. Probably like that. Anyway, thanks so much for seeing this update. Might put a little white book plate here too. I don't know. There's lots of possibilities still. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you again soon.